Scotch, bourbon, and rye. If they like a bottle, they'll tell you why.
Hey everybody! Welcome to an all-new Trenny and C. He's Trenny, I'm C. And we drink whiskey and we talk about whiskey and other stuff.
We sure do. This is a really exciting episode today.
Oh, so
one of our
exciting.
favorites.
Oh yeah.
Or something. No.
Sure. No.
Works. It's interesting because what we're going to do today is we're going to pull this guy down. This is the Kirkland Bourbon.
Costco
Bourbon.
or Costco's.
From Tennessee. This is a Tennessee whiskey. And traditionally, a Tennessee whiskey is generally a Jack Daniels or a George Dickel.
Yeah, so and that's the thing about Costco is that they never reveal the source.
Right, but that's a hint.
Now,
Tennessee factor.
However, there's a lot more distilleries in Tennessee now.
Yes.
We're just not super familiar with any of them. So
It's interesting because right here on the label it says that this is rated 93 points and got a gold medal. And it's exceptional. 7 years old, which is kind of cool.
That's a good bourbon age statement.
Yeah, they don't usually have age statements. So
and
that's
interesting that they're calling their Tennessee whiskey a bourbon.
Ah, good point. Good point.
You know, Jack would never do that.
Well, is this charcoal mellowed or not? I guess we'll find out.
Does it say? So that's the thing is that, you know, the only research you can really do with the Costco whiskeys is have that previous knowledge in your mind of flavors,
right?
And an understanding of what it might be. Costco Scotch seems to be easier because it's like it'd be like a Highland Scotch or an Isla or whatever, and you can kind of look back in your memory bank and go, oh, this tastes like a Macallan or what was that other one? The snake pheromones. I keep bringing.
I always forget the name of that.
I remember that. Anyway, the Scotch ones seem a little bit easier, but this being a Tennessee bourbon, there shouldn't be that many options to choose from. We're just not that familiar with the distilleries out there.
Well, it's interesting because, again, this is premium small batch.
Okay.
7 years old, but the big thing here is this is 51.5% alcohol.
That's like...
That is huge.
So the reason that it's... So this actually surpasses bottled in bond standards, right? It's aged longer than a bottle in bond needs to be, and it's a higher proof than a bottled in bond needs to be.
Right.
So, I mean, without all the old legal technicalities of bottle and bond, but it has that level of quality.
Of legitimacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I think we should get to this. Like, if we go, what we normally do is the color, nose, taste, finish, and viscosity. The color on this is really nice, deep, kind of browny red.
Brown with
like
a hint of cedar.
like a maroon kind of a maroon 7.
Yeah.
Okay. 7 years.
Right.
Okay, on the nose. Let's get the nose in here.
Alcohol nip is the first
It
thing
is
you
definitely. It definitely has a blast there.
get. A little bit
also
of a
has-
burn on the nostrils.
It has a slight kind of like malty chocolate kind of a nose to it a little bit,
It is quite malty.
which is interesting. It's it does have a sweet upfront thing to it, but not as like sour sweet like you kind of get.
Not a young one.
Yeah, not as young.
This has that tobacco oak kind of thing going on it. A little bit of the raisin, like cinnamon raisin almost a little bit, with that like nice charry oak.
Yeah, it's interesting because the fruits are forward, but it's almost like a chocolate covered cherry kind of thing. I'm getting like chocolate notes in there.
It's one thing we can say.
Notes.
It's 100% not Jack Daniels.
No, it's
That's
not.
a
There's
fact.
no glue or banana in there.
No, it's not even so.
not even close.
Don't go into this thinking that it might be Jack Daniels just because it's Tennessee bourbon. It's not.
It's got quite a nice nose, honestly. Like I know that a lot of these Kirkland whiskeys, some people turn their nose down at them because they don't have a brand to them or whatever.
Do you turn your nose down or do you turn it up?
Well, I turn it up because
No, I think turning it up is when you're being snooty.
Right. Yeah.
Turning it down, yeah.
Maybe it's looking down your nose.
You look down your You're looking down upon it, but you turn your nose up. I don't know.
Either way.
Your nose is just in the middle.
Some people shake their head at it, is what I'm trying to say. Not nod their head.
Oh, fuck.
Anyways,
Some people don't like it.
the point is Kirkland is its own brand, but they source from other distilleries. It's almost kind of like Kirkland is a independent bottler in a weird way.
Yeah.
But you can get, like, this is a liter of bourbon.
Yeah, it's quite a
and
big
it's
amount.
relatively inexpensive for
I think
these
it was
big bottles.
$50,
Which is great.
It might have been Canadian, even though we got it. This is from like a Costco. I think this was in Seattle that my wife brought it back for us.
Yeah.
But I think it ended up being like $50 Canadian or something like that. It was like $40 US. Or
Well,
whatever.
even the we bought a
which
Kirkland,
is a decent amount of money for bourbon in the States,
Yeah, true.
right?
Sure.
It's not
But
cheap.
here, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But even the Kirkland Scotch that we got with that was a 16-year-old. It was very Macallan-y.
Yeah.
And
Very baseball
it was
glove
still
leather.
like that was only like $65 or something, and that was
Yeah,
a
that
liter.
and it was
Here, you
18
can't even-
years old.
18. Yeah, was it 18?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay, getting back to the nose.
Well,
and
we
everything.
already nosed it. Let's just drink the shit.
I get a little bit of yeah. Okay, go ahead. Orange blossom. Okay. Ooh. There is a nice vapor that comes off of the amount of
There may be
alcohol in
a
there.
reasonable component of rye in here.
Yeah, it's got-
it's hot at the finish. The finish is a bit hot, but you're right. Actually, it says citrus on the bottle, citrus and spice, which is actually kind of what you were describing there with that
The orange blossom comment?
and then with the
Orange
spice,
blossom.
the heat that we were just talking about with
Yeah.
the rye. Like that is true.
But up front, you can tell that it's 51.5% or whatever it is. It's quite potent, but there are a lot of flavors buried in there. It's not like the potency of the alcohol is completely masking the flavors. It's quite good. Like I think if you're not comparing this to other things, like if you're not drinking it side by side to, say this Bottle and Bond
Really have to
1792,
do it like that.
then this is definitely go out and purchase.
To
one
be
of
honest with you, though, you get some sweetness, but I'm going to say that I think this is a lower sweet bottle. To be honest with you,
Yeah, the
Like-
sweetness is more in the nose.
yeah, and I personally like my bourbon to be fairly sweet.
Yeah.
If I have the choice, unless it's a musty dusty, but this isn't really a musty dusty either.
No, it's it hits a couple of different factors though. Like one thing I like about really high potency bourbons is the evaporation as soon as you taste it.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's not as sweet on the palate.
So at $50,
Really good though.
are we still in the mixer kind of realm here? I think being that it's Costco, you kind of have to be. You have to assume that this is going to be a mixer, but really, it's like a. How do you say it? It's like a really good mixer, but
I think you could easily. This is a sipper for sure. But
I just don't think I could do more than 1 dram of it.
really, yeah. Well,
It's just my personal preference. I don't think I could do more than 1 dram.
I honestly think if you did water this down a little bit, like brought it down to like 46% or something like that, probably the sweetness would come out a little bit more, and some of those trapped flavors that are trapped in the alcohol.
Let's
why don't
do
you
it.
go, why don't
Let's
you go get
do
a little
it.
glass? There's my the pourer thing up in the cabinet here.
Okay. Yeah.
You can cut this.
Yeah. Where's
It's like down low.
Okay, I'm back with some water, and I'm just gonna try and do a little drippy droppy in here, because this is like 4 or 5 drops kind of.
And I think I'm gonna go a little bit heavier on that. I'm gonna go like a half teaspoon in there.
Whoa!
Which is, I kind of like that sometimes in bourbon. Lately, actually, because it is summertime right now,
You're icing it up.
I've been icing my bourbon and putting a little bit of water in it, and it doesn't completely drown stuff that's high
This one,
potency.
my guess is gonna be that this can handle some water.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now to the nose with some water in it.
I'm getting a lot more nut out of this, like a little bit of a nuttiness now.
Yeah, like some almonds, and it's actually kind of brought out a little bit of that the sappiness of the wood.
Okay, I'm gonna say something really weird here.
What else is there?
This reminds me, something in the smell just hit my nose, and it reminded me of like compacted Hummeroos, and like when you light them off, and there was like, and there was like that flared out like gunpowder burn.
Yeah, like the.
There was just something for 1 second there that hit me, and I don't know if I'm
A
getting
little
it
bit of
anymore.
that,
it was like just for a second.
Maybe that could have been a blast of like sulfur coming from
yeah,
from the wood.
sulfury.
Yeah,
You know what? That's what it was. It was kind of sulfury. But it dissipated pretty fast there. It was just right as I got my first sniff after the water.
Okay, I'm going to get to the nose or the taste here.
It's really bringing out the, like a citrus zest though.
It's honestly a different bourbon with that much water in it. It's like much more bright, not as held back.
It's not as
closed off.
Burny and harsh even with just that much. So
yeah.
It just took it down probably to like 45. Yeah, this one's a lot more tolerable with a little bit of water, but it's... I struggle with it as a sipper because it's not sweet enough for me.
Right.
That's just me.
Yeah, yeah. And I find the water does bring out a little bit of the sweetness, but so far it's also bringing out a little bit of, to me, like a little bit of youth in a weird way. Like I know it's 7 years old, but it has kind of a bit of that
because like
sourness of like young casks.
And I was saying it brings out the citrus zest. It might be the zest.
Could be that too.
Making it a little bit zesty and zingy.
But do you know what? Overall, I think this is a pretty damn good bourbon.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
And if you're gonna not compare it to other things, like knock your socks off. You can share it, put this on a dinner table and share it with a group of people, and you're
all I would
not
say
out
was
too
that
much.
I wouldn't rebuy it personally. At $50, I think I would spend my bourbon money on like honestly, I'd rather have Old Grandad bonded for $30
for sure.
I'd rather have Jim Beam bonded. I'd rather like there's
one thing to say about it though is what's kind of cool about these Kirkland ones is that they always come out with new things. So like the next purchase you get, it'd be cool to buy a couple of these and try them side by side.
This one might already been replaced by now.
Oh, I'm
this
sure.
was like last summer, I think.
Yeah.
So this is probably a year old.
Cool.
Anyway, well, this is fun.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in and watching, and as always, comment and subscribe and click like and all those good things.
Notification bell. Ding.
Yeah.
Don't miss any of our secret live streams.
Ah, yes, that's true. If you become a Patreon,
that's right.
You can
those too.
Have those. Okay. Cheers, guys.
Bye, Coin.
Penny and C, drinking whiskey, describing all the flavors for you and me. Irish, Scotch, bourbon and rye. If they like a bottle, they'll tell you why. Subscribe on YouTube.